Kolo malani sawawatina Nama taichisu aurai ratunga Nano gumara wodeye
I was invited to do some filming in the northern regions of Fiji by Jody Lee and Aubrey Whippy, two very passionate people with a goal to get the beautiful northern islands of Fiji better known to all. And of course, when offered this opportunity, I jumped at it without too much hesitation. In preparation, I asked a few of my friends what they know of Fiji. I quickly realised by their responses that they, in the main, spoke only of Viti Levu, where Suva, the Fijian capital, lies, Nadi, the airport, and the Coral Coast, where there is an abundance of 4- and 5-star resorts. Now, Jody and I worked on cruise ships some 30 years ago, and we visited places such as the Savusavu group of islands, Taveuni Island, and the party island of Beachcomber. And they are as popular now as they ever were. So with my 2 video cameras, sound equipment and trusty GoPro, I set off to learn more about the other big island called Vanua Levu, in particular Savusavu, which is about 230 kilometres northeast of Nadi. We also wanted to share with you a little information about 2 other magnificent islands in this idyllic part of the Pacific archipelago, Naia Island and Taveuni. Now, the purpose of this trip is to show how affordable the northern region of Fiji is for tourists. So we stayed in 3-star accommodation and lived like the locals. After landing at Nadi Airport, we casually made our way over to the domestic terminal and grabbed the connecting flight to Lambasa on the northern side of Vanua Levu, which is approximately 245 kilometres and a leisurely 45-minute flying time. There are direct flights to Savusavu. However, by doing the flight to Lambasa, it opens up the opportunity to explore the lush and beautiful paradise traversing the mountainous region, which enhances the travel experience. On arrival into Lambasa, we were collected by taxi and travelled the 82 kilometres and paid the approximate 65 Australian dollars for the 1-hour experience.
Misambula and welcome to Savusavu, the hidden paradise of Fiji.
Known as the Hidden Paradise, Savusavu has a variety of accommodation from the world-famous Jean-Michel Cousteau's resort and Namali Fiji Resort and Spa, which is owned by Tony Robbins. Now remember, our goal was to stay in 3- to 4-star accommodation. So for our stay, we opted at the beautifully appointed Daku Resort. Now this is no ordinary 3-star resort, and as you can see, the lush setting has comfortable bures and villas overlooking the bay, and it's a leisurely 25-minute stroll into the town centre. We wanted to get a feel for Savusavu, and it was suggested that we start off at the Copra Shed, which is a wooden building with its own wharf, which was once used for loading copra from the coconut plantations onto the boats to Suva. It's home to 2 restaurants with a shared kitchen. The captain's table for the more formal one with views across to the harbour to Naia Island, and the Captain's Cafe, which is a less formal setup but still has some great views. We ate at the Savusavu Yacht Club at the Copra Shed, where we enjoyed the sounds of the local band whilst overlooking all of the yachts in the harbour. You are probably wondering right now what is there to do in this hidden paradise. Well, after a wonderful welcome last night, drinking maybe a little bit too much kava and listening to the staff play some tunes, we visited the Botanical Gardens. Now, this turned out to be a wonderful 2 hours of slow walking through well-maintained pathways, offering a huge variety of palms, plants and beautiful coloured flowers to see. There are great views from the top too. I would suggest that you book a little early or even book ahead, and do try to get there about 10 a.m. You will save some money and you may even get a guided tour. Next were the hot springs. Now, there are several groups of hot springs in Savusavu town. Many springs are lined along the beach, but quite a few of them are located just below the high tide, so their steam is only seen at low tide. One group of the hot springs is located just 5 minutes from town. There is a hot stream leaving this group and flowing towards the sea, and in the past it was a place for Fijians to bathe. The water in the springs is not just hot, it's boiling. The temperature of water is often at 100 degrees Celsius, and geophysical analysis shows that deeper water temperature in some of the springs is 170 degrees Celsius. In the past it was a place for the locals to cook their meals, and as you can see, the hot springs are still being used that same way.
So many people say cook their food on the boiling hot spring. As you can see right over there, there's one example.
The farmers' markets is a true local experience. You will meet wonderful people, see the fresh produce and have a sip of the excellent boo juice, which is coconut nut water, made out of the freshly hatched coconut. There you can also see what yagona looks like. Kava is made from the fermented roots of this plant, which are also sold at the markets. To top off the day, we snorkeled at Split Rock. Now, Split Rock is only 200 metres offshore. It's a large coral head and it's named for the distinctive split down one side. We wanted to fill in as much as we could in one day, and leaving this just before sunset probably wasn't the best idea, as the sun didn't highlight the underwater surrounds to our expectation. At the bottom of Split Rock you can see purple gorgonian fans and pale yellow soft corals. There is a glorious abundance of orange and purple antheas and golden damsels near the surface. A little deeper, parrotfish can be seen nibbling away at the coral. Split Rock is one of those most colourful sights of the bay. The top of the coral head is only 3 foot deep and the base is about 30 foot deep. Last night I was once again invited to join the traditional caretakers of the resort in a kava ceremony. So I want to take this time to tell you a little bit about the taste of paradise. Seriously, the taste. Have I mentioned the taste of kava? Now, some of my old cruising buddies know a fair bit about this acquired taste, but for those of you who don't, be warned. If you ever visit Fiji, you will at some stage be invited to take part. Now, once you take a sip, or in my case, a scull, you'll get this tingling sensation and numbness on your tongue. Kava is a mild narcotic and it certainly does relax you. Fijian people are known to be some of the happiest on the planet, and I think kava might just have something to do with that. So how does it taste? Well, surprisingly, like muddy water, literally with a bit of bitterness. It is, as I mentioned earlier, an acquired taste. Don't say I didn't warn you. I was guaranteed to have a good night's sleep after a couple of what we call high tides. And when I woke this morning, I was feeling well rested and energised for our trip to Naia Island. We were told to make our way to the jetty by 7:30 in the morning. Now there is one thing you might just have to get used to, and that is to plan on Fiji time. In fact, the only thing guaranteed to run on time are the sunrises and sunsets. Namena is a little over 1 kilometre long and it resembles a sleeping dragon. There are 3 main beaches and several smaller ones, and with only 6 bures, you will be guaranteed your very own secluded beach. Its true name is Namena Lala, but since Lala means empty, the previous owners decided to shorten its name. So again, why would you come here? We were amazed by the Namena Marine Reserve. It has 21 dive sites that are world class, yet undiscovered by many divers. From a place called Thumbs Up to the west to the Lion's Den to the northeast of the island, you will be amazed at this coral marine reserve. So you're not into diving? That's okay. Just off the pontoon on the main jetty, you can snorkel and see some amazing electric blue clams and a variety of coral and fish. Namena is a secluded 110-acre island with an abundance of bird and marine life. So don't expect to be online tweeting or Facebooking your mates. If you need to do that, I am sure that the mainland will be best suited to your needs. Power is provided by the sun. There is no internet, but there are flush toilets. It's unexpectedly refreshing to have no interference from the outside world. There are no strenuous beach activities or gyms here, but if you love to hike, there are, as I said, over 100 acres to explore. Or if you feel like climbing some stairs, there are 115 that will take you to reception from the jetty. Well, at least I was told there was 115. When I walked up, I counted 130, but mysteriously, on the way down, there were only 105. Did I mention the taste of kava? Each bure has its own private ocean view, hardwood floors, king-size canopy beds and large balconies. And with a maximum of 6 couples on the island at any one time, you will truly feel like that this is your own piece of paradise. So, if you love diving, if you love to see bird life, if you love to just lay in a hammock and relax, if you don't want strenuous exercise, and you just want to sit here and disconnect from all your mates when you have to tweet and Facebook and do everything else that you have to do, and you want to just disconnect from the world, this is the place to come. We'd love to see you here. Did I have kava last night? I just can't seem to remember. Did I mention the taste? I am just so totally relaxed after my day on Namena Island. Our next amazing trip was to the garden island of Taveuni, and our intrepid host Aubrey told us that our accommodation will be at his aunt's village at Walangi. But of course, he had more in store for us than meets the eye. Now, because we said that we wanted to travel like the locals do, we hopped on a bus from the town centre and headed out on the 80-kilometre ride along the Hibiscus Highway for the 1.5-hour journey to beautiful Buka Bay and Natuvu Landing. We then took the 2-hour ferry journey across the Somo Strait to Korean Wharf near Nakara. The bus and ferry trip only set us back around $20 per person. Along the way to the village, we checked out a couple of 3-star accommodation spots that looked like somewhere that you could stay and just soak in the atmosphere. We were greeted at one of the resorts by Dennis and Nairi. This was at the Aroha Beach Bures. Now, Aroha is the Maori word for love. Dennis treated us to lunch at the newly developed Kai Time restaurant, where breakfast, lunch and dinner are served daily. Aroha has a total of 5 rooms, two of which may become a family unit if required. And because they only accommodate 10 to 12 people maximum at any one time, it has a lovely, quiet, almost exclusive ambience. Listen to one of the staff as he tells us about the nearby attractions.
Hola! How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay. So I'm standing here looking up at the telecommunication tower up at Devil Peak. That's where the Tangimodia flower is, a rare flower that only grows in Taveuni, only blooms in Taveuni. It's about an hour drive on very rocky road, very bad road. Takes a four-wheel drive to drive up there, and we got a newfound lake too there, which is called Selmo Lake. The flowers is blooming now at the time now at Christmas time. It's a very beautiful flower.
The island boasts several beautiful waterfalls that cascade down steep cliffs into the ocean, which is an amazing sight. I have to, at this stage of the very short doco, mention Tomasi. Now, Tomasi featured early in the film as a happy and fun-loving character. Everyone talks about their own personal guide, but when you get a guide that all the locals know and love, then you have hit the Fijian jackpot. From Oroha, Tomasi took us just a few kilometres away to a natural water slide, which is a must visit, especially just to watch the local children stand and surf down barefooted. This is incredible to see. Tavoro Waterfall is also within the Boomer National Heritage Park. The whole hike to the falls takes approximately 3 hours return, and the tracks are clearly defined, so no guide is necessary. The first waterfall is an easy 10-minute flat walk. This is the most photographed and the most famous of all the waterfalls in Taveuni. As we were pushed for time, we decided to do only the first waterfall, called the Lower Boomer Falls. It is easily the most popular as it allows swimming. The local children sang for us and blessed their little cotton socks. I used their voices as the opening theme song for this video. Barely 10 minutes into the hike, when we reached the lower falls, there is this wide plunge pool that was calling our names, and the local children would mock us if we didn't attempt the jump. Before long, it was time that we headed back to Walangi village, and the first thing that came to my mind was kava. Now, did I mention the taste? I got invited back to a village in Taveuni. Is that how you say it? Taveuni? Taveuni, in a place called Walangi. Thank you, Anna. And in this village here in Walangi, there's about 35 little houses here, and we got invited over to the chief's house, which is just across the road there. It's amazing. You'll see some pictures anyway. So everyone decided to just party up. So they had a bit of a kava party over there. And did I say that Anna's had 52 kavas? So anyway, over there we sat around, and what happens is you just drink until you finish drinking. Now the lights go off here apparently at about 10:30, so it's 10 past 10, so we have to hurry. But when the lights go out, then what happens is you then come back to the house, and then you have dinner. And whatever time dinner is on, the spread here is amazing. It's just beautiful. We've got taro. We have taro leaves, I think. In coconut cream. Oh. And then there's some noodles mixed with some vegetables. It's to die for. It really is. And it quenches down all that kava that Anna has been drinking over the last 6 hours. And so now I'm guaranteed a really good night's sleep. If you ever have the opportunity to stay in a traditional Fijian village, I would suggest you experience the whole process. When we arrived, the villagers were celebrating a milestone in the village, with the final pipeline being laid to secure fresh running water. It was so exciting, even the village dogs were happily enjoying some puppy time. The party was still buzzing at the community centre, with the diesel generator operating till 2:37 a.m. precisely. How do I know this? Because that is when I looked at my watch. And at approximately 4 a.m. we were woken by what sounded like voices of angels, but in fact it was the beautiful locals singing morning devotion in the nearby church. The experience and feel of a real village life certainly left a heartfelt, uplifting impression. We opted to fly back to Savusavu. The flight was an incredible journey of only 25 minutes compared to the 3.5 hours in total by bus and ferry. Our final destination was to visit the owners of Pauschmann Resort and Rainforest Spa. This truly immerses you in a genuine Fijian experience that is nirvana to the core. This 160-acre sanctuary was born of a nature's lover's dream. Patsy and Jack are those who dreamed of building this magnificent hideaway resort and spa. And since a picture tells 1,000 words, I'll just let you watch with wonderment at this beautiful destination. So what's my verdict? Well, having travelled to Fiji well over 60 times, I was surprised that this wasn't on the travel agent's mind when I asked where I could stay that has beautiful 3-star accommodation with 5-star service and facilities. The northern islands of Fiji are definitely something to put on your travel bucket list if you want to experience the real feel of Fiji, the friendly culture and all that Fiji is known for. And as a famous Austrian actor and bodybuilder would say,
I'll be back.
Bye. See you soon. Next time.